Today, I would like to share with you a quick April update and how things are going here in our homeschool. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our homeschool table. My name is Geraldine. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, and here on my channel, I share all about homeschool-related content. So I hope that you'll click that subscribe button and stick around. This year, I'm homeschooling my 6th grade daughter, my pre-K son, and my 2.5, almost 3-year-old, who is keeping everything very interesting around here. And so today I'd like to share with you a little bit about how things are going in the month of April. So in April, it started out with a lot of rain during a week that some really good friends of ours were coming to visit for a couple of days. And so we did some fun trampoline park adventures and hanging out around our neighborhood and things like that. But that was really fun. And then, of course, the next week and the weeks following were really beautiful and sunny and getting a lot warmer here, although most days it's still sweater in the morning, at least for me. Then after that, the rest of the weeks of April we're just really focused on getting things done for school and making sure that we are kind of on track to be done by the end of May with most of our subjects. So I would consider us partially year-round homeschoolers and partially not, because we usually do a little bit of math and language arts in the summer, but we stop doing history and science and enrichment studies for the summer. We still do a little bit of a morning time with like a Bible time, morning time, but as far as like all of the normal things that we do, those pretty much stop at the end of May, like the week right after Memorial Day. And so that is kind of still how we're planning to finish up this school year as well. And then we will start easing back into our school year in mid-August, like the 3rd week of August, I think. And then we'll be really going with all of our subjects the week of Labor Day in September, although we might go on a trip. So don't quote me on that. But that is kind of how we generally do things. So today I thought I would share with you just a little bit about how everything's going, first with our morning time or family subjects. So in the mornings, we always start with everybody together eating breakfast around 8:30 or 9 usually. Sometimes I'm still in my pajamas at that point, and sometimes I'm already ready for the day. It just kind of depends on the morning. But we start out with our Sunlight Bible reading, and then we go right into the Gentle and Classical Preschool. So in the month of April, we did 3 units. 17 was about the Rattletrap Car. Unit 18 was A Pocket Full of Kisses, which we really liked that book. And then we started Unit 19 this week, which is A New Coat for Anna. I actually need to go and pick that book up at the library. It's waiting for me. But some of the books that go along with that program that we really like are The Llama Who Had No Pajama. This is a really cute poetry book that we like. And then Big Thoughts for Little People. These are things that we just read 1 per week, and the kids really enjoy these books. I also do my son's Awana practice right around our Bible time, and so we just do his little memory verse practice every day, usually about 4 days per week. And then as far as Sunlight goes, the first section here at the top is what you do for Bible time. So there's a student reading, which my daughter does on her own, a parent and student reading, which we do, and we all listen to it while we're eating breakfast. And then we have the Radical Book for Kids here. We just do this 2 times per week, and they're just short little things about different Bible-related concepts. So this is Seeing the Stars and what they would eat or not in the Bible, so clean and unclean animals, things like that. This was a really good one on some different Bible history people. And so we do that a couple days a week. She also does some memorization, which she finished up Psalm 86, 1 through 10, I believe, and that was several weeks worth of practice. And then now she's working on a Matthew passage. I think it's going to actually wind up being 16 verses total by the end of the quarter about the Beatitudes. So that's kind of what we do in our morning time like during breakfast. On Mondays, we also add all the small poems and 14 more, and we just do all the poems from the whole week on Mondays or Tuesdays. It kind of depends how long we have on Monday mornings before our friends come for science and coffee. And then on Fridays, we read a poem or two out of this book, and we only have a few left. I think we have about 13 poems left, but some of them are pretty short, so we'll read a couple for the next few weeks, and then we'll be done with that. During our Gentle and Classical preschool time, we also do our memory statement board. I'll put a picture of it up here, but it has things like character and catechism, scripture memory, math, manners and hygiene, all about me, a nursery rhyme, and then the card that shows the letter of the week and the book of the week. And we really like doing those. And I actually just shared recently about that we're going to be doing the Gentle and Classical Primer for next year, which is their kind of kindergarten 5 to 7-year-old range, which I'm really excited about. So the last thing that we do all together, which we actually do at lunchtime, is our On Mission magazine. We're doing India, and we finished this last week in April. And this just comes with lots of like memory cards. We learned a lot about the different instruments that they play and listened to a lot of good music. My daughter and son really liked the Bhangra dancing, which is something that I just looked up for them because I actually have done Bhangra dancing a little bit here and there, which is fun. But these come with really good scheduling guides and lots of book extras, maps, and the actual magazine itself is really beautiful. I printed this one out on my Epson EcoTank, but it turned out really, really beautiful, even though I just did it at home. We did read a couple of the books that go along with it, and those were all really good. But that's kind of it as far as things that we do all together as a family. Now let's go ahead and talk about my pre-K son. And at the beginning of the year, I had started out with doing All About Reading, pre-reading, and ABC See Her Do. I think I added that one in like October or November. I have reviews on those if you're interested in looking. But then this spring, I was kind of getting ready to think about next year, and I had ordered the Christian Light Education Kindergarten 1 and 2, and I was kind of trying to decide where I wanted to start. Well, when he saw it, he was reminded of some old preschool books that we used earlier in the fall, and he really wanted to start this. And so at first I was kind of trying to juggle all three of those programs, and I already wasn't doing a very good job of doing the two programs together before. And so finally at the beginning of April, I just sat him down and I said, which one of these do you want to do right now? Because I just want to do one at a time. And so he picked Kindergarten 1, and we are already on book 3. So we did books 1, 2, and part of 3 in the month of April. So I think that we'll probably be done with this by the end of May. And these just have a few pages per day, I think up to 5 usually. And there's a little bit of number work, matching things, color recognition, and coloring things the right color. He's not a huge colorer, so I sometimes will make him just do one thing of coloring instead of like the whole page. And he really likes this. He'll often just go get it out for me. One of the things that he really likes about this program is that there are these little flashcards. And so every couple of lessons, you'll get a new number. So these just have little dots because that's how they teach the numbers first. Instead of a numeral, they teach an amount of objects. So we are up to number 6. We just got that one yesterday. And he really likes these. He is doing really good at matching them as well. I have this little number flashcard set. And so I pulled out just 1 through 5. And so I will have him lay all of these cards out, and then I'll have him match the numeral that goes with it. And he's doing a really good job being able to match 1 through 5. And so I'm really excited about that. And we'll just keep plugging away. I think it goes up to 9 or 10 by the end of the Kindergarten 1 program. So that's kind of where we're at with that. I will let you know in May if we've finished, and then if we've started the next thing yet, because I'm going to let him choose if we start All About Reading pre-reading and continue on. We're about a third of the way through it. Or if we go back and do ABCC Here Do, we're about halfway through that one. So his choice again, and we'll just keep rolling with that through the summer. Okay, now let's talk about my daughter, and I will just grab her checklist here to talk through some of the things that she's working on. So she has her Bible in her box here, and this is just a read aloud we're working on. She does her Awana practice every day on her own. These are all things that are on her morning checklist. She does a week of Fix It Grammar, and probably in a couple weeks, we're going to switch to doing 2 a week because she has about, I think she just finished week 12 in here because we only started this in March or maybe February. So she's just doing 1 per week, but we're probably going to increase to 2 per week once some of the other things are finished up. In April, she finished the 7th light unit out of 10 for Math 5. This is Christian Light Education Math. And she does 1 lesson Monday through Friday. So 5 lessons a week. And each one of these booklets takes 16 days. So 3 weeks plus a day. Sometimes we'll skip one of the quizzes, but she actually really likes the quizzes. So that doesn't really happen very often. Or sometimes we'll double up and do like 2 lessons, but we'll only do the new part of 1 lesson. And then the second lesson we'll do the new part and all the review. So that's kind of how we speed that up if we need to. She's been working on copy work. I printed out this free copy work from Sherry at Our Life Homeschooling. This is the winter themed copy work. So she's been working on some poems and scripture. She also works on her cursive handwriting. This is just twice per week. The copy works once per week. This is from Cursive First, and I just laminated this. I printed it out and laminated it. And so she just does a line or 2 once or twice a week. She's also been working on typing from the Good and the Beautiful. This is level 2. We have all 3 levels, and she will just keep doing this twice a week through the end of May. And then we'll be done for the summer, and she'll pick it back up in September. If you're curious, we will start our new school year the 3rd week of August, I believe, but we ease in really slowly. And so she won't be doing all of her subjects until like the 1st or 2nd week of September. Okay, one thing that I don't have to show you, but I'll just tell you about is Matthew C. Epsilon. So we did a lesson per week all throughout April. And so she just finished lesson 28, and there are 30 total. So she only has 2 more weeks of doing Matthew C, and then she will be finished for this school year, and we won't pick that up again until September. She's really excited to be done doing 2 math curriculums, although she really hasn't complained about it. And I think part of that is because when she started doing Christian Light Math along with the Matthew C, I had just let her do Christian Light for several months, and then I introduced Matthew C again. And the Matthew C part is actually a lot easier for her now that she's been doing Christian Light Education Math. I recently did a video all about why we used 2 math curriculums, and I'll link that up here for you if you're interested. They actually go really well together, in my opinion. One is a spiral approach, one is a mastery approach, and they just really complement each other, and we really like it. So I'm going to continue on with that for at least the time being. I'm not sure if we will continue with that once she hits the pre-algebra stage and higher, because that might be too much. But for now, we really like doing both. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to tell you about is science. We're doing Earth Science from Apologia, and I really like that program because it's very hands-off for me. She listens to the audiobook while she reads along in the book. She does it 2 days per week, and then she also does some of the activities both of those days. We also have a science group that comes on Mondays. A couple of our friends bring their kids over, and we do science for like 30 minutes, and then the girls all go off and go to the library or the park. We live in a really small town. So we just kind of let them go do that while we sit and have coffee at my house. And I do want to show you the project that they are almost finished with, I think. Okay, here is her globe. This is the project that they've been working on all school year. They did this with paper mache at the beginning of the year. And before they did any of the painting, they put the longitude and latitude lines on, and the prime meridian and the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, all of those things, the equator. And then they painted it. So you can't actually see those lines. They're underneath the paint. Then they painted the continents. And then later on, they did all of these different climates. So that's why there's all these colors. But I wanted to show you this before it gets destroyed, because not next week, but the week after, they're going to turn these into piñatas and break them. So I wanted to show you because I won't have it to show you at the end of May. But I thought this was a really cool project. My daughter didn't love it, but she pressed through and wound up completing it just like all of the other girls did. So she's glad that science will be over soon. She only has, I think, next week of like actually reading and doing activities in the book. So she's almost done, and then she won't have science again until the fall. So that's pretty exciting. I'm hoping to do a full review of Earth Science. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss that video. But the last thing that I want to tell you about is sunlight history. And my daughter has become very independent with her sunlight history, which is great. She's doing the Eastern Hemisphere book and all of the notebooking that goes with that completely on her own. She will tell me about it later, and I do check her notebooking to make sure that she's doing the timeline. Like they have to write different things about each country and stuff like that. She also does a lot of map work with that. And so especially the Africa unit that she was working on in April, there was a ton of mapping. So she is glad to be on a little bit of a break from Eastern Hemisphere right now. This week and last week, she started reading Mary Slessor, which is a missionary story from the Christian Heroes Then and Now series. And she's, I might have accidentally taken her bookmark out, but she's almost done. I think she only has like a couple chapters left at the end. But that book is going really well. This is actually the first Christian Heroes book that she has read on her own that I haven't read to her. And she didn't really love that idea at first, but she is actually kind of enjoying it. And we're just going to continue on with her kind of doing the history readings on her own. We are also listening to this book, A Long Walk to Water. This is a book that has 2 stories simultaneously going. We have 4 more chapters left of this, and I really like this book. I've been hearing about it for years, so I'm glad to finally have read it. But it's about some kids that are living in Sudan in different time periods and kind of what's going on with them during those time periods. I'm also trying to finish a read aloud called The Audacious Escapades of the Somerset Sisters, and we are only about 6 chapters into that book. And they're really long chapters, which is kind of what makes me not want to ever sit down to read it, because they take like a solid half an hour to read a chapter. But hopefully we're going to get that book done in May. So we're kind of doing 2 read alouds right now, the audiobook one and the other one. And that is one thing that I do have to say about Sunlight, is that only a few of the books from Eastern Hemisphere, at least, are available on Libby through our library. And they all just happen to be right here at the end of the year, which I'm actually really pleased about, because this is the time of year when I'm kind of all done with reading and read alouds and I just want a break. So we're going to be listening to A Long Walk to Water, and then we're also going to listen to Journey to Joburg and Call It Courage. And then The Horse and His Boy, although she's already read that book and I've already read that book, so I'm kind of thinking about just forgoing that one since we both already have read it before. But we do have it on Libby, so we might just listen to it together or something like that. Okay, I think that is about it for school and April. It's been a really busy month because my son started t-ball practice in the early part of April, and he has been loving that. And my husband is helping with kind of assistant coaching a little bit here and there. Tonight is actually their first game, and he is ecstatic about that. So we will be doing baseball or t-ball through the middle of June. And then my daughter is getting ready for her recital for dance, and that is in June. And so we have pictures coming up. They just got all their costumes. And what else is there? There just seems to be a lot going on right now. So, anyway, I think May is going to be an equally busy month, or maybe even busier than April. So, you'll have to check back at the end of May to see how our homeschool is going then. We will have probably finished quite a few things by the end of May. I would love to hear how your homeschool year is wrapping up, and if you're finished with some things or if you still have a little farther to go. Just keep going and keep being consistent in your homeschooling so that you can hopefully have a little bit of time off during the summer if that is how you schedule your homeschool year. I will be doing a few planning videos here coming up of how I kind of get ready for the next homeschool year. If you have any questions or things that you would like videos about, please let me know down below in the comments, because I'm always looking for new ideas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today at our homeschool table, and we'll see you next time.